Hello Virgo, thank you for coming back. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like and share or like and subscribe. So in the first house, we have solar eclipse revolution. So your first house is everything to do with yourself, your physical body, your vitality, what you project outwards, and what people see when they see you, your appearance, and your characteristics and your personality. It's also this first house is also about your own self-oriented interests and your personal independence, how you are making your way in the world, what you're projecting outwards, what you're busy working on right now, as you your daily routines like that, as you are making your way forward. So with solar eclipse revolution, what is indicating that changes are coming for you, and they're rapid. This is rapid change. And I feel it's also stemming from your 12th house, which is all your internal, your subconscious stuff. So there's a lot of change and a lot of shifting around going on in there. And from there, I feel that you will then be required to make changes in your outer world. And that is going to spill over into other areas as well in your chart. And how you are in yourself and what you're projecting outwards is also going to affect your relationships, your close personal one-on-one relationships. So there's three elements coming in: your 12th, your 1st, and your 7th. And it's all about change. So this is some kind of rapid change. It could be something that occurs, causes a bit of an upheaval, or it's a rearrangement perhaps of how you are doing things, or perhaps it's to do with a physical regime that you're busy with, but it's a new direction, and it could also be self-mastery coming in for you. So you perhaps have been either working on something, or it could just be the way you are, the way you're projecting yourself. Perhaps you're learning more about that at this time, but it could also be an epiphany or a wake-up call of some kind. It's going to bring in new ways for you, new things that you're going to have to do. But there will be quick developments. It's also about breaking old patterns. So if you've been doing things in a certain way for a long period of time, and those patterns are no longer serving you, then you have to undertake some kind of change of direction, whether that's forced upon you through an upheaval or some kind of shock, or whether that is you taking charge and actually saying, this isn't working for me, I need to address this, let me see what I can do. So whether it's a physical thing, or it's the way you are what you're projecting outwards to others, but it's also going to be how you are being perceived by other people at this time as well. Then in the second house, we have Sagittarius IC. Your second house is your house of your income, what money's coming in for you, however it's coming in for you. It's also the house of self-worth and your values, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, what you value in your possessions. This house also deals with ownership of all kinds. So this is all kinds of items that surround you in your environment. It's also property, land, real estate, anything like that. So with Sagittarius IC coming in, this is what it's asking you to do, is to give yourself a little bit more freedom at this time. So you need to change up your routines, or change up what you have always done, or the way you are doing things. Change things up a little bit to give yourself a bit more freedom. That's not escapism. Sort of just opting out of everything because you can't make a decision. But this is rearranging things to free yourself up a bit more. It could also be that you're overcoming obstacles at this time. You may also need to allocate funds for travel and exploration, which will give you that freedom, which will give you that Sagittarius satisfaction, which likes to explore, likes to have adventure, likes freedom from routine. So that is sorely needed at this time. It could also be that you need to allocate funds also for higher learning or study, something to do with that, something that you perhaps need to do or want to do, or you're going to be planning for next year. So this is university level, or it could be adult education or something like that. It's also about being honest with others and with yourself, what it is you want, what you want to achieve, how you want to move forward. With the Sagittarius card, just be careful that you don't squander funds as well, because Sagittarians can be a little bit sort of careless around things, issues like that. They just live for the moment, and whatever you hard-earned cash or whatever is coming to you could just be frittered away unnecessarily, especially if you need to allocate funds for specific purposes at this time. Then in the third house, we have Mars force. So with this card coming in, your third house is your house of communication, all forms. So this is your written, your verbal, your body language. It rules all kinds of contracts and documents. It's also communication with the public and with people in general, anybody, but it's also specifically to do with certain family members, which will be siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, relatives in general, and also neighbors can come in on this. So, but it's communication in general to whoever. So now it could also be your profession. Perhaps you're in the communication fields. It's any form of communication that you're interacting in, any form of expression which you are involved in. All right. So with this coming in, Mars, it's a very powerful energy. Mars is our warrior energy, and it's coming in and it's saying to you now that you can move ahead with determination on something. It's bringing in the enthusiasm, and you're feeling fired up. You've got the fire lit under you now, but don't force your way or become aggressive. This is a measured action. This is disciplined action that is required at this time. It could also be that you may have to defend yourself in some way, or you are facing a challenge from somebody or something at this time, and you've got to communicate about that or put plans in motion. You may have to get upfront with someone as well. Really, just make it plain exactly what it is that you are about. But it really is bringing in a lot of passion, a lot of fiery energy into you, but you need to direct that correctly. So if you need to state your case about something, or if you need to communicate passionately about something, make sure it is that, but it's got to be in a measured and disciplined way, because then you will get the best benefit out of that, and you will really move yourself forward into whatever it is that you're trying to do in this third house. It could also be that you're going on a short trip of some kind. Third house deals with short trips, local trips. Perhaps it's something you're planning. It could be something spontaneous or something that you've been wanting to do, and suddenly it arrives and now you can do it. But you're fired up about it and you're very enthusiastic. Then in the fourth house, which is your house of home, this is your physical home, the actual place where you're living, where you're residing at this time. It's also your the bricks and mortar, but it's also the atmosphere in your home and the people in your home. And it can also be your relationship with your ancestry, your foundation, your roots, your family, your ethnic identity. For a great many people, this is hugely highlighted. So it's your relationship with that whole situation, whether it's been a happy one for you, or a mixed one, or a difficult one, that is going to be coming up for you at some point. So with the Aquarius card, this is the futuristic card, the futuristic sign of the zodiac. So this is looking into the long term. This is looking into the future, visions of what could be. So whether this is to do with your actual physical home or something that you're wanting to do further down the line, but you're kind of getting insight about that now. It could also be ideas, sort of intuitions, but it's visionary, It could also be that you're going to receive support from friends and alliances with regards to ideas that you want to put forward or things that you want to do. So it's bringing all that support in. It could also be that you are receiving support from your family members, or it could be that you are giving support to others in your family tribe, your ancestry, or you're understanding certain things about your ancestry, because this card can also bring in to your people into your home, or that you're going to find this out about your ancestry or your roots or your foundation. It can bring in bohemian or unusual or different or exotic people. Okay, these people are different. They're different from you, whether it's a sexual orientation or whether it's they just look different from you. They could be foreign, they could be very exotic, or they could just be really have a very different mindset from you, or just be very bohemian. These people are you're going to learn from them, your interactions with them. Perhaps you're having visitors here, or perhaps you're discovering that you've got a part of your ancestry which where you're learning more about that. It could be anything to do with that. This card also brings in advanced or an upgrade in technology and electronics. in the home. So or science even. So it could be that, you're having an upgrade of some kind in your home, and whether it's a new alarm system, or you'll be bringing higher tech, or it could even be cutting edge people or people with advanced technical knowledge who are coming to visit you in your home, or you're interacting with them in some way in this environment. But it really is a futuristic sign, and it kind of brings inner knowing to you as well, sort of a kind of glimpses of the future, but it's an inner knowing. Then in the 5th house, we have Chiron healing. Your 5th house is your house of recreational activities of all kinds. So this is fun activities, any kind of activity where you're out and about. It's outgoing. It's sporting energy. It could be handcrafts, any kind of activity which is fun and recreational for you. As I said, it could be sports or clubs of some kind, but it's also it can also be speculative activities like gambling or stock exchange or stock market, playing that. It's play and recreation. This house is also about your creativity, your creative projects, however that works out for you, how you're utilizing that. It's also the house of love affairs, how that's working out for you if you have that in your life at this time. Or it could also be about children, your children or somebody else's children that you're associated with at this time. So with Chiron healing coming in, this is saying that you've got issues around that. I mean, this could even be your inner child as well. So what it's saying is that you're going to find that emotional healing or physical healing is coming up to be addressed. So if you're a sports person, it could be old injuries or an old injury which is reoccurring, or it could be emotional wounds of some kind that are coming up for you from in any one of those areas. And these are deep-seated things that keep following a cycle, and they keep returning until they get dealt with. So old issues from the past. What you have to do with this is you have to, when it reappears in your life, you have to really bring it into the light. Don't be afraid about that. Bring it into the light, have a good look at it, see what part it's played in your life, and its function there. You have to accept it and acknowledge it. As soon as you do that, then you can once you've accepted it, you can release it, and it won't return. Okay. Otherwise, it just sits there and it festers until it gets dealt with. So you don't want to do that. You want to actually address these things. Or it could be that you're actually visiting healing facilities of some kind, and it could be, as I said, to do with a sports injury. Healing facility, you may need to bring in alternative remedies and therapies, or medicine may be coming in for you, or you're visiting medical facilities of some kind. If not you, then it could be somebody associated with you. So it could be your children, or a child, or it's an old sports injury, as I said, or it could be to do with a love affair. Your partner at this time is going through something. So it's all alternative therapies as well. Anything, homeopathy, chiropractic, naturopathy, whatever it may be, whatever works for you, try it and sort it out. It could be an unexpected trip to a medical facility as well. This card also brings in, learning about astrology, teaching. So with children coming in there, learning, schools. It could be your children are going through various issues and you're having to deal with that. So teaching, learning, schools, anything to do with that. This card also is telling you to spend more time in nature. So find a lovely healing activity or any kind of fun activity that you can enjoy, but in nature, and that will help you tremendously as well. Then in the 6th house, we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. 6th house is your house of work, your workplace, your work colleagues, your work projects, whatever you're doing. And it's also mastery of your craft. It's also your health and diet, and house of pets. So with Black Moon Lilith Mystery, it's like you're waiting for something to happen at this time. Something is not clear. You don't have all the facts. There are undercurrents going on. You just can't quite work out what it is that's going to happen or is coming at you at this time. So it's a kind of a waiting and watching, but there are undercurrents going on. It could also be that you are having to get your shadow emotions under control, or you're seeing it in your environment around you. Others are displaying this. By shadow emotions, these are this is because this covers the darker side. So this would be bitchiness, revenge, feeling slighted or overlooked, and this is bitterness, and anger, fear, envy, guilt, any of those sorts of darker emotions, which more than likely usually arise out of fear. Fear is really the root of everything, okay? Even anger comes from that. So you may be experiencing it. Maybe you're having an issue at work, or something's going on, and you just feel like you're not getting fairly represented here, or you're seeing it in your work environment, or it could be to do with your, perhaps your health and diet. Perhaps you need to change your lifestyle, and you're just not sure what's going on right now, and you're feeling a lot of very heavy emotions around certain things. Find a healthy outlet for it. Deal with that. You don't want to be harboring or festering unhealthy emotion at this time, because that's going to hold you back. You may also need to stand your ground in certain things as well, because it is a strong feminine influence this card has. So that's standing your ground, standing firm. And it's also, this card, coming to health and diet, it can also bring about unplanned births. So just be aware of that at this time. As I said, there are a lot of emotions coming up or being hidden under the surface, and there are undercurrents going on, or just something that you're waiting for to happen. Then in the 7th house, we have Uranus Genius. So the 7th house is your house of a personal one-on-one relationship. So this is a love partnership or a business partnership. It can also be another close personal one-on-one relationship. So with this this card coming in, I feel there is some kind of change going on, or it could be an unexpected event. Uranus is the god of change, but it's usually unexpected. Something comes out of the blue. Okay, it could also be a sudden realization that you're having, or an intuition, or you as with your partner are having this come to you. It could also be a relocation or a change of situation, or an alternate lifestyle now which you need to bring in. But it's liberation from where you have been onto a new course. And there may be a bit of an upheaval or some kind of like a bolt of lightning in order to shift you forward onto that. As I said, it could also just be a sudden realization, this is what I need to do, and you're off. But there will be a little bit of adjustment going on. You will feel unsettled and out of your comfort zone for a while until you can work out what it is you need to do. It could also be that you need to detach from any turmoil that is going on. Keep your wits about you. Do your best to stay grounded. Stay in the present moment. Don't slip off into the past or into the future, because that creates anxiety. Stay in the present. Stay with the waves of motion that are currently around you at this time. And as I said earlier, that this comes as a result also of changes that you're making in your 12th house and your 1st house. It's going to affect your relationships as well. Then in the 8th house, we have Moon Sol. So this is the 8th house is a kind of it's a kind of a mixed house. It's the house of psychic development. It's also the house of endings and beginnings, and new things coming from old things, or births or rebirths, renewal, things like that. It's also the house of big finance. So this is investments, insurances, taxes, assets, legacies, inheritances, and trusts, or anything to do with that, banking and accounting. It's also the house of you merging with another, your material and emotional resources, which can be in a love partnership or in a business partnership. And it's also sexual issues in your partnership as well, if that's appropriate for you, if you are in a partnership. It's also the house of handling other people's money. So that may be a profession for you, or something that you're doing currently. So with the moon coming in, your psychic development could be very high, because this is the card of intuition. Okay, this is deep feeling at a soul level. It's also about cycles, because it's following the moon. So there could be cycles going on in any one of those areas of the 8th house. The past and memories come in. They could be playing a part. Also habits. The moon governs your habits. So you may need to be changing your habits, or your habits are going to be shifted in some way, or you're going to be looking at that and deciding what it is you want to do, because there's change afoot earlier on in your chart. So this could be coming over into your big money house as well. But also speculation comes in with this because the moon rules the stock market. So you could be looking at that from a monetary point of view as well. Perhaps it's something that you want to look at. But this card can also bring in confusion or concealment, where things are unclear or they're obscured in some way. So just be careful, especially when it comes to your money, or when you're merging your resources, your material and emotional resources with another in some kind of partnership. Just be careful, because the moon, as I said, can draw a veil over things, and things just may not be clear. This card also rules crowds, fame, and what is popular. So just be aware of quick fix money schemes or popular fads of money schemes, things like that, which come and go and don't actually hold any water. You don't want to get swept up in that and invest in something which is not actually going to pan out for you. So be aware of that. And that comes in with the confusion and the concealment. There could be something about that. But whatever it is in this house, you're going to be feeling very sensitive right now. You need to follow your instincts 100%. If your instinct is telling you that something's off, then it's off, okay? Because this card is telling you, is going to bring that in for you. Your emotions are going to be heightened. You may also be feeling a little bit insecure at this time, or there are insecurity issues. You could also be consulting a woman's wisdom, or there could be women's issues coming up in this house. When we say issues, it could be physical, emotional, or it could just be financial situations regarding women. So what their needs and so on. So, all of that comes in to this house at this time. Then in the 9th house, we have Mercury Mind. 9th house is quite a broad house, but it's basically about gaining wisdom in some way, whether that's through international travel or through learning or through your interactions in your belief systems. This house is a big house. It covers exploration and adventure of all kinds, however that is for you. It's also about traveling to international countries or dealing with international countries in some way, or international people. So whether this is through a business like import-export, or doing things online, reaching further to online, dealing with people from that are different from yourself. It could also be further education and study. So this is university level or adult education. You could be embarking on a course of study now, and you're trying to choose what you want to do, or you're understanding certain things, or you could be studying right now and you're getting a lot of, you need to use your Mercury to navigate. It's also about the understanding and the gaining, and like faith. So this comes from philosophy. It comes from religion and belief systems. All of these things are indicated in the 9th house. The search for meaning and purpose. Teaching, publishing, and promotional work, like public relations, anything like that comes in, or when you're promoting something that you're busy with. The higher courts and the law also come in here. So you could be having a court case, or you're going through some kind of legal issue that could also be coming in for the 9th house. So so with Mercury Mind coming in, this analysis is required at this time. So analysis of how you're progressing, what you're doing. You need to think things through. You need to plan. You need to have a system and a structure. You need to be sharp. Because this is mental sharpness is required at this time. And your communication is very important. Mercury rules communication and the mind, the intellect, okay? You really could be grappling with that at this time. Perhaps your intellect is really being challenged right now, or you need to bring more constructive and critical thinking into what you're doing. You may need to get your point across in some way. So this is through writing, or words. As I said, communication is highlighted. You could be editing or publishing something. Numbers and figures are also indicated through this. And learning how you're learning through travel, or you're learning through adventure, or you're learning through understanding philosophy and religion, or any kind of belief system, or whether you're learning as in an institution. It's learning, education. Words are very important at this time. So put effort in. You must walk your talk. You need to bring in humor as well, but avoid glibness and argumentative attitudes right now. Flexibility is going to be required in this house at this time. So you may be multitasking right now. Also, like I said, when it comes to institutions and learning, libraries, university, any of those systems are coming in for you. They may be required, or you may be visiting them and learning things at the moment. This card can also cover motion. So this is usually cars or vehicles, maps. Also technology and electronics can come in at this time as well. With Mercury is the messenger of the gods. You could be hearing gossip, or you could be hearing things about other people, or you could be involved in discussions about other people, or you could be talked about. So just be aware, be careful of that as well. Then in the 10th house, we have Leo, I will. So your 10th house is your house of career. It's the house of your fame and your reputation and your public status, how you appear in the world. So that could be single or married or divorced or a company owner or an employee, whatever is your public status. Okay. So now with Leo, I will coming in. This is a very nice card to be having in your 10th house. It's saying that you're in the spotlight for some reason. You're being noticed. And it's also about being the center of attention. So expect that to come on you at some point. It's also about having confidence, using your originality or your individuality to further your whatever it is you're doing in this house. You need to stand up and be counted at this time. So put yourself forward and let your light shine, because it's going to be noticed and it's going to bring attention to you. It could also be that you are somehow involved in the arts, or to do with the stage or media, or something where you're in the public spotlight. And that could be very highly indicated for you at this time as a career, or something that you're busy with right now. And your creativity is going to be stimulated with that. You could be getting an award of some kind, or like I said, some kind of recognition coming to you. But there's growth in reputation and career associated with this card. Also, children and the youth may be important for you in this house at this time. Just with this card, the only thing really to be aware of is that you don't fall into the trap of too much pride or arrogance, because that can come in with the Leo card as well. Then in the 11th house, we have Jupiter abundance. So the 11th house is your house of your personal hopes and dreams, your wishes, what you're visioning for yourself. It's also your own personal hobbies and interests. It's the house of friendships. And it's also the house of your contacts and your networks, which you're busy with at the moment, your group activities, whatever that may be for you. It could even be a club, as I said, like a sports club or something like that, or an association or society that you're a member of, or an online group, however it works out for you. All this could be all purely business related, to do with your contacts and your networks, right? This house also covers... it also covers sort of like global consciousness or group consciousness, social reform and causes. So that could be highlighted for you at this time. So now Jupiter abundance is bringing that in for you. It brings in expansion and opportunities of all kinds. Perhaps you're making new friends, really good, solid friends, or you've got a new Jupiter type friend coming into you. They're bringing abundance in for you. And that's not necessarily money. That can just be joy and happiness and fun and laughter, however that works for you. Or you're just really enjoying your friendships currently at this time. They're supporting you and you're happy in that. Or it could be that your personal hobbies and interests are now getting a boost. There's some kind of opportunity coming in for you, or an expansion, or your dreams and your visions. You're finding the faith and the wisdom and the strength to really harness that for yourself. As I said, or it could be to do with your networks and your groups that you're involved in. But there's expansion, opportunities, doors open for you, happiness and joy, abundance, luck comes in for you. As I said, faith and strength. But you will have to work at it. It's not just going to sort of materialize by itself and just do its own work. You're going to have to harness whatever comes to you at this time. So follow the opportunities, see where they lead you. Obstacles could also be lifted at this time. If you've had a tough time in this house, obstacles will be lifted away, and you're going to feel a bit of relief there. You could be visiting places of learning at this time as well, or whatever you're involved in is getting a boost. You could also be, your purpose could be highlighted at this time as well. Perhaps you're finding purpose in something that you're working on in the 11th house. That's going to be highlighted for you, but it will come in, and it's going to be sort of fairly rapid, the opportunities that are coming in for you. So grasp them quickly and move forward, because they won't be around forever. You know, it's not a long-lasting thing. It's going to come up for you. Go for it and see where it takes you. Then in the 12th house, we have fire element desire. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to initiate a lot of changes for you, because the 12th house is the house of the unconscious. So this is your deeper emotions, your unconscious drives and motivations. And it's also the house of where you go when you need to be in solitude and reflection, when you need to retreat. Or it could be that you're going on a retreat of some kind, or it's an opportunistic time for you to go on a retreat. That all comes into the 12th house. It's also the house of your spiritual life, if that is indicated for you. So that is, your meditation, your mysticism, and your healing all comes in, the search for healing. It's also the house of karmic lessons, service work to others, being in service to others, whether that's a profession for you or something you do as part of your contribution to society. It's also the house of escapism and addictions of all kinds. So that may be a working environment for you, or you could be getting to grips with that, or you're involved with somebody who is getting to grips with that. Okay. It could also be that, this can also bring in your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So this, as I said, could be a university or a library, banking institution, government institution, or even a hospital or a prison. So all of these places, because they're institutions, it's your experiences in there, whether you're going in there for some reason, or you're going with somebody else, or you're seeing that, or you're visiting that. And this is also the house of meeting twin flames. So that is sometimes indicated. But I feel with fire element desire, what this is going to bring, it's going to bring about quick changes. You're going to have a realization, or some kind of determination is going to be upon you. And it's going to cause a change of perspective. It's going to create a new approach. And it's going to sort of fire up the passion for you. Quick changes coming in, creativity. And this could be creativity in how you handle your problems, or how you handle your deeper emotions, or your hidden subconscious drives, or that handling that in others, or helping others. But it's also about being honest with yourself and others. There may be assertive action required at this time, however, whether it's inner or outer. But it's a new start is indicated. You want to make a new start, or you're going to make a new start, or a new start is required. You could be attracted to new things, or there's new attractions coming in for you. Some kind of enthusiastic response, passion. You're also going to be finding the courage to do certain things, which is going to come out, and it's going to come out into your first house and spill over right the way through. You're going to find the courage to actually tackle something right now, or initiate something new. This could also bring in bossy people, or ego issues. Perhaps you're grappling with your own deeper ego issues, or somebody else's ego issues, or it could be somebody else's ego issue triggers something in you, and you go inward to deal with it. You may need to protect your interests in some way as well. As I said, if there's a bossy person around, don't let them take charge of your hard work and what you've been busy working on. Take ownership of your own things, and be assertive about that. But don't go into ego, or if you've got ego issues that you're grappling with right now, then seek help and go online, or go to therapy, or whatever it is, or find remedies to deal with that, or go into reflection on a retreat or something to actually understand it better and find out what is the root of it and how you can deal with it. Okay, I hope you have a great month. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, or like and share. That will circulate the reading amongst other people who may need to watch it at this time. Take care and have a good month, and I will see you next time.